Greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your pharaoh of physical media. That was me back in 1987, but I'm a very pissy boy today. I'm very angry. Let me just say I'm mad because this software that I'm using to broadcast to you apparently went from I owned it to it's now a yearly subscription. And it did so on February 1st. Yeah, I was using the software last night. Why February 1st? Because if you're going to go month to month, this is the shortest month, but they still charge you for a 31-day month. And this software is either $99 a month or $500 for the year. As you can imagine, both of those were hits. Now, I used this. I didn't think I would have to. Anyway, not anyone's problem. But why do I bring this up and why am I angry about it? Because they don't want us to own anything anymore. Eventually, you're going to have a subscription to your car. You'll have a subscription or rent to your house. You'll never own anything. You don't even really own your house here because you have to pay property tax every year. And if you don't, you can have your house repossessed. So you can't own land, at least depending on where you're living. This is what they're doing to us. And watch the show tonight because there's a really interesting article I'm going to read that somebody sent me about how even kids in film school can't watch movies anymore because they have no attention span. This is all designed, people. I'm not a tinfoil hat wearing guy, but you don't want to hear from me anymore. You don't want to hear me having to come up with cash I didn't have so I can broadcast to you. It's not your problem, it's mine. But you know who doesn't have a problem? The man with the plan. The man, our favorite trash panda, all the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland. It's Mr. Dieter Bastian.
Well, Rob, I'm just a guest here, and I have to abide to you if we can do the show or not. And luckily we can. And I say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Dieter here. Here I am, Rocky like Hurricane, and welcome to the B&B Motel for Let's Get Physical Media. And Rob, I heard on Midnight Metal, considering the new movies that have started this weekend, you were not a big fan at all of Iron Lung. And Rob, I didn't know anything about that movie. I saw it popping up in the multiplex program of my theater, and I thought, what is this? Iron Lung? They even showed it in the original version on Friday by that night shift. So I didn't go, but I had no idea what the movie is about, who's behind it. And I, like you, I went into a little bit of a deep dive. Who is this guy? Because I watch a lot of YouTube, Rob, you know, movie reviews, box office, Phantom Menace stuff. But what I don't watch actually on YouTube are video game playthroughs. You know, I rather use that time to play video games myself.
Yeah.
So video game playthroughs I seldomly watch. And what I heard, Rob, considering the movie, it seems like it's more like a playthrough, what I've heard.
It was a playthrough if you know, and if you don't know anything about the game, it was absolutely incomprehensible. If I hadn't read up on Mark Capiller and I hadn't read up, look, I gotta hand it kudos to him. Sorry, I was running around doing this. I ran, took a shower and everything. Kudos to anybody who puts up their own money and makes a film. But you still have to abide by the language of cinema. You know, no one's going to reinvent the language, and you have to learn, I've often said, you have to learn how to watch a movie. I mean, anybody can literally watch a movie, but are you a literate watcher? It's just like anybody can look at a page full of letters, but that doesn't mean they're literate, nor do they understand what they're reading. And you have to learn the language of cinema. There is a visual language. And how a story is told. And he also wrote the screenplay. And I think it shows this film, look, we're the oldest people in the theater. And clearly the people that were in the theater were young people, total Gen Z, and they clapped at the end. But the film is incomprehensible, and it needed a screenplay. You know, it establishes the fact that you're on this alien moon with this blood ocean. You don't get any establishing shots at all. So you have no understanding of the geography of what's happening. And you're literally on this one set the entire time, this submersible. And you don't even have any understanding of the geography in the submersible. Like what you have to do is he keeps, looking in places and going. You need to show that to the audience. And this is basic filmmaking 101. And again, I would hand it to him for making the film. But if the film is not good, and I'm sure the gamers liked it, it didn't do horribly this
Yeah,
weekend.
it seems that way, Rob. That it's totally designed for the people who even know the game or play the game.
Yeah.
Because even at my theater, when I looked up the screening, it was pretty decently packed, Rob. It
Yep.
played in the biggest room that we have here in Saarbrücken.
It made
Strangely.
$17.8 million this
Correct.
weekend. Now, here's the thing.
Almost number one. Almost number one, Rob.
I read that he spent his own money, like he spent $3.5 million.
Yeah.
Even if you think about box office, it's made $17.8 million, and you think
In the
half
green.
of that goes back to the distributor. That's profitable.
Yeah.
I
with
mean,
with almost no marketing, Rob.
almost, well, he's got over 38 million subscribers
Insane.
on YouTube. So from a business standpoint, kudos to him. Because think about it. If you spend $3 million on a movie, if your return, if you get $4 million back, you've got a 25% return on your cash.
And
That's
we still need to see
that's
the
a
international
huge return, huge ROI
Yeah,
on investment.
And when we still need to see the international numbers, Rob, that will be added to that number.
Yeah. So this was a from a business standpoint, a rousing success. So
Definitely.
more power to him for that. Fantastic. Now, it was not the number one movie. The number one movie was Sam Raimi's Send Help, which I saw. I went to the Alvaro and I have been going to double features. Last week we saw Mercy and we saw Return to Silent Hill. The week before we saw Primate and 28 years later, The Bone Temple. This weekend, Alvaro wanted me to tell you, we are going to see The Strangers Part 3.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to see, what is it, Whisper or whatever. So,
okay. Don't know that movie. Okay.
So
but you told on Midnight Metal you saw your first 4DX screening, considering Send Help. Because I was surprised, Rob, that the movie is actually even available in 3D. How was the 3D?
I saw it in 4DX 3D.
Yeah.
It was great.
How was the 3D?
It was great.
Okay.
I thought that, again, there's an issue with the brightness of because when you're watching in 3D, it cuts the light by half.
Yeah.
So you got to overcrank, which nobody does because they just don't do that. So it was a little dim, but the 3D was really good, very effective, really well used. The movie is a hoot. It's so much fun. And somebody brought
Isn't it
up
annoying, Rob, with the seats rumbling? Isn't that annoying?
Okay. The funny thing about the rumbling seats in the plane crash, sometimes they rumbled a little too much for my taste, but it was fun.
But I think you can adjust the drop somewhere at the seat.
I had no idea, but I'm sure that's true.
Okay.
I kind of like the fact that it was throwing you around like that. But the funniest thing is whenever there was blood splatter or mucus or getting thrown up on or whatever, water was hitting you, and it was hilarious. I mean, I don't think I would ever see a 4DX screening again. It's not really my thing. I get why people go. But for this particular film, whoever designed the 4DX experience was officer thinking. It was really well done because it did add. There's a lot of there's a scene where the main character kills a wild boar on this island, and when she's killing it, the mucus is spraying in your face.
There's a lot of 3D glasses that has to be cleaned after.
It was good. Yeah, I had to take my glasses off, and then sometimes when people got hit in the back of the head, they would give you blast air, so you'd feel it. I mean, it was a really, really fun time. I can't recommend it highly enough. And look, some people have pointed out.
I remember from the Star Trek experience, the Borg stuff. When you were in the seat and you got poked in the back. That was awesome. From the Star Trek experience.
And because I worked on the team that built the Star Trek experience, and one of the interesting things, I've told this story before, but I'll tell again, when they had the transporter effect. You literally walk in this room and they hoisted up the room that you're in, all four walls and the ceiling. And what they didn't count on was, and that's when you get beamed. They turn off the lights, it flickers, and they pull up and it goes into the ceiling. And then you're in the transporter room with the Enterprise. But what they didn't count on was when they had the lever system, they had this really counterweight. There's 2 tons or something. The counterweight that pulled it up. the first time they did it, the air whooshes up. So which wasn't on any plans or anything like that. So it was just an added benefit. When you were standing in the room, it felt like something happened to you. So it felt like you were beamed, and it just added to the verisimilitude of the experience.
That's all we want.
It was fun. I mean, look, I understand why people go see 4DX, and I get it. It's an extra added. In this movie, it worked really, really well. But I can't imagine going to see like F1 in 4DX when you're in the cars, but because it got to the point where it was interfering with my concentration.
Yeah,
because I was anticipating.
Was the ticket much more expensive than a normal ticket?
To tell you the truth, I don't know, because Alvaro bought the tickets.
Oh, okay.
Because I travel an hour to go to the Irvine Spectrum. But yeah, so
we have Send Help #1.
So box office, Send Help, Iron Lung. So Send Help was 20 million. Iron Lung was 17.8 million. And Melania, the documentary Melania about Melania Trump, that Brett Ratner directed, came in third at 7 million, becoming one of the highest grossing documentaries weekends. It's pretty amazing. Now, I have to say, there is a Melania popcorn bucket.
I saw that on Insta. Right?
And I have to tell you, it was the cheapest, chintziest afterthought of a popcorn bucket. It was tiny compared to any of the other. There was an Iron Lung popcorn bucket that you could pre-order, or you can download it and 3D print it if you want. That blew away the Melania popcorn bucket. And I couldn't help but think that popcorn bucket exemplifies everything about the second term of President Trump. It was an afterthought. Nobody was planning. It's just like, oh, we have to have a popcorn bucket. And it was really, it could fall apart, and it wasn't very big. So, it was pretty useless, and no one was buying them.
Okay.
So, but hey, they had them exclusively there. So here we go. Send Help #1 at 20 million. Iron Lung #2 at 17.8. Melania #3 at 7. Zootopia is #4. It made another 5.8 million for a domestic total of 408.9 million. Insane. Avatar: Fire and Ash chalked up another $5 million for a total of 386.1 million. Shelter, the movie Shelter, made 5.5 million. Mercy put up another 7.4 million. So Mercy's at a total of 19.4 million. The Housemaid, still killing it, another 3.5 million for 120.6 million. Marty Supreme, 90.8 million. 28 years later, The Bone Temple. It's too bad this isn't doing better, but 1.6 million. It's made 23.6 million. This movie should make $100 million. Hamnet doing pretty well for the kind of movie it is. 1.5 million for a total of 20.2 million. So there you go.
Nice.
There's the weekend box office for you.
A lot of new movies that have started this weekend. And Rob, considering
there's some
I've
bangers
seen,
coming out this month. Some bangers.
Okay. For me, obviously, Rob, Scream 7, because I'm a big Scream fan. Even if I'm hesitant, if they can keep the track record, because I think they are the Mission Impossible franchise of horror. Always stable, like you said. Familiarity that doesn't suck, And I was totally surprised, consider what I've seen digitally, Rob, because I had actually zero interest in this series. I didn't know about the character. I didn't watch any trailers. But I said, okay, all episodes are available. They're just 35 minutes, Disney Plus. 30 minutes. Give the first episode a go. And then I watched all 8 of them. And I had a great time, Rob, with Wonder Man.
Dude, Wonder Man is wonderful. Wonder Man is wonderful.
Excellent.
It was so good.
And Rob, I love that poster artwork with the different roles and the different titles of every episode. And for me, Ben Kingsley was so great in this role.
The show is, it's really interesting because it deals with the reality side of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I wish they have done more of that. I really think that it's really interesting.
It was totally refreshing.
Totally, and I have to say,
it was not action driven at all.
No, and the chemistry that they had, it
Yeah.
is fucking
Awesome.
wild that the Trevor Slattery character from Iron Man 3
Yeah.
has carried. Who would have thought? And I'll tell you one thing, I'm certainly happy I bought that hot toy of the Mandarin because
Mandarin.
nobody wanted that hot toy. Now,
But now,
I mean,
now.
it's both. Hey, if you want to, if you guys are collecting action figures, if you can find that Trevor Slattery Mandarin figure, it's a great figure. Don't sleep on that, and don't sleep on White Vision, because you can get those for a song too, as far as hot toys go. But it made me kind of realize that's what they should have been. That couldn't have cost nearly what a lot of those Marvel shows cost because you didn't have an enormous amount of visual effects. And it was so great to see what is the real world like in the MCU. Although it really did make me. I feel bad for everybody that we meet in that show because they're not long for the world. They're not long for the world. As a matter of fact,
for me,
the world, the 616 has what? 11 months left. Bye-bye. Bye 616.
The only drawback, Rob, perhaps for some people, you have to be a little bit of fan of the movie business itself, considering he wants to be an actor.
Oh.
And I totally loved at the beginning, when he wanted to do too much backstory for his character.
I was cringing. I've seen that before.
The show. There's the door. As an actor, Rob, be on time, hit your mark, say your lines, and fuck off.
Yeah, that's right. It was so good. No, Wonder Man was great. It was so much fun.
It was totally a nice surprise for me. Didn't expect, had no expectations,
and no one's
all.
watching it.
And I love that they dropped all episodes at once. They're just in half an hour every episode. So totally was a blast for me.
Yeah, and that was
it wasn't the usual Marvel humor. You had even to look for something humorous. I totally had a good laugh, and Trevor Slattery said, "I take option 2. I take option 2 immediately."
It was so. The show was wonderful.
Yeah, totally surprising. Totally surprised.
Yeah, very, very excited.
Then I told you, Rob. Finally in Germany, we got HBO Max, Rob. It took a long time, but finally. So I could finally get around to seeing it. Welcome to Derry. Because I'm not the biggest fan of the movies, not even of the franchise or the IP. But this was really decent. Decent show, You had to stuck with some shitty CGI effects here and there. Considering Andrew Muschietti again, Rob, is it that perhaps he's not working with the best visual effects studios, or is it even the director itself who can't sometimes not really explain what he wants to see exactly, considering, we know all how the effects in the Flash were? I have no idea. Perhaps this was a little bit of a drawback, but otherwise there were very imaginative stuff in it for me. And I think the good thing is, I still think, Rob, we haven't heard if they want to do a season 2. I don't think anything has greenlit yet. You can watch the show if it stops here. Totally good work. They don't leave you on an insane cliffhanger with it, which I always prefer. And then the last thing, Rob, that I saw on Wednesday, Amazon Prime. I watched, of course, Wrecking Crew, Dave Bautista, and Jason Momoa. It gets a fresh, pretty slightly fresh. It started really great. Nice buddy cop movie, like from the 80s and 90s. And then verisimilitude got less and less believable. It went off the rails more and more as farther the movie was going, because the second action set piece, it was like watching GTA, Rob. They were in the car, green screen, and everything, the whole surrounding felt like CGI. The first action setup was great. I thought, okay, here we go. But the second one, I thought, oh, holy smoke. They're always trying to go too big, Rob. Instead of keeping it a little bit grounded, just doing the over over-the-top stuff, There wasn't helicopter chase. And the story doesn't give you anything surprising. You know who the bad guy is, and you know who's behind it too. But the chemistry, at least, between Bautista and Momoa was great, and it kept the movie at least afloat, I would say. So it is a decent watch. It is a decent watch, better than Playdate, not as good as Drip, somewhere in between. Wouldn't be against a sequel, so fine for a streaming movie. But I think, Rob, perhaps it was the better movie that Amazon should have put in theaters against Mercy. Just saying, perhaps.
I agree.
But I would say had a decent time with it. That was the stuff that I've seen on digital, Rob.
Nice.
So, okay, should we show physical media, Rob?
Yeah, why don't you start, buddy?
Okay.
Lay it on me.
Since Dave Parker said on Midnight Metal, I'm shoveling the trash up, Let me start with the first trash title because it was on many Worst of the Years list. But I had a decent time in the theaters. Really looking forward to watching it again, even if you don't get, unfortunately, the IMAX stuff. I've got my Tron Ares Steelbook.
Oh, nice.
Just as nice as the other two are, especially here on the back. And I hear, at least audio-visually, it should be a great disc, even if you unfortunately, once again, don't get the IMAX aspect ratios, which you obviously can get on Disney Plus. But I haven't gotten around to seeing the disc. Speaking of Iron Lung and video games, this was a price drop of 70%, and I said, okay, I give it a shot for that Schnäppchen price, and it has some good reviews, not overly praising. From Ubisoft, I got Star Wars Outlaws.
Nice.
This was just, I think, $18 now.
Wow.
No price reduced from 50 or something. So I said, okay, give this one a chance. Even if I'm not the biggest fan of Ubisoft, they always tend to blow up the game with useless, boring missions, Then from Death Crocodile, Rob, because I think this is the first one that I've got from Death Crocodile. It's actually a German movie, and I don't know if I have seen this animated movie from 1994. I got Feliday. So this is actually a US disc, but from Death Crocodile, but this is a German animated movie.
Wow.
So it comes with the 4K. It was price reduced, Rob, so a little bit of a Schnäppchen. And the 4K. And the bonus material seems to be you can more access bonus here through this QR.
I'm a big fan of Death Crocodile. I mean, they're putting out some really obscure stuff, but they do I think a phenomenal job. Yeah. I love everything about
I'm not sure, Rob, if I have seen that German animated movie. And it's always great to get German stuff from the US. So, Feliday. Then one of the movies that a lot of people loved, went a little bit under the radar, and the true story behind the movie is really insane. I've got the 4K of Roofman, Channing Tatum, and Kirsten Dunst, nothing special, from Paramount. But I think it's only in the States where Paramount is releasing the movie on 4K. As far as I remember, in Germany, there will be only a Blu-ray of the movie. Roofman. Really, really nice one, and I think this is Channing Tatum's best performance, I would say. Really.
Wow.
If you don't know the story, people, insane. Insane. Then, Rob, we get to last week. I showed it, or I didn't show it, but I told you that I've seen it digitally, and it's already out here in Germany because I'm a big fan of the first one, and the second one is out here already. Influencer 2, with my favorite, cyber criminal femme fatale, Cassandra Nord, doing her shenanigans again in the second one. And the second one even has some, unlike the first one, some bonus features, probably some EPK featurettes. But I hope Shudder will do a Blu-ray 2, perhaps with an audio commentary for the second one, and a booklet 2, so perhaps double dipping. Influencer 2. Totally great for me. Let me just see. Scotty is back. He's almost always back every 2 or 3 months with a new movie. This is one definitive of the better movies that he does for the direct-to-video market. Had a good time with Diablo.
Oh, okay.
Nothing special, just Blu-ray with Scott. Totally great fight sequences in this one. And I can see Rob 18 certificate, but I can't change it. So I have to live with that little red rating on the front. Then, considering the Academy Awards and the 10 nominated movies, for me, only one that actually made my top 10 list of the year. And I got the Steelbook for it. I've got the Steelbook for...
Ooh, that's a nice Steelbook.
Begonia. And I can't wait, Rob, to get the Arrow, Save the Green Planet, to see that Korean original again. Because I can't remember the Korean original. And I don't know why, because I don't think I will forget Begonia, because I loved it. Why is that it's missing? Okay, I rented out to my niece, Rob, I gave it to her to see some Oscar-nominated movies. Begonia. Then, considering the John Woo movies, I think this should be actually the final one. Once a Thief from Short Factory Special. 2 discs. And I don't know, Rob, if you will mention that in the news section, but I heard, considering The Killer, that Arrow is putting on different versions on their release. But once again, there will be probably work prints for The Killer. So different movie versions of The Killer will be on the Arrow set. Once a Thief. And a good friend of mine, who I've gotten to know through our show, did show me a picture up, considering Hardboiled, the Arrow, and the Shout. And it seems the Arrow looks a little different. A little more bluish, Rob. Just saying, Then you had it in the news section last week, Rob, and it's gotten a release already here. The new Jackie Chan movie, The Shadow's Edge. It's called Shadow Chase here, and it is certainly the best Jackie movie in I don't know how many years. The only thing, it's a little bit too convoluted, considering who is following whom to where, so it can get a little bit heady. But considering the action is really nicely done, let me just put the disc out because I want to show the inside a little bit. So this is the one team. This is his team. He's of course the old cop who knows how to observe people a different way, because the tech kids only use AI to follow people, but they get hacked, so they need Jackie back, and this is their adversary.
Jackie back.
Yeah, because he tells them how to observe people the old way. So this is definitely for Jackie fans, and there's a little card, one of the baddies in here. So really nice one from Jackie. Like I said, not top tier, but really good. Considering the last stuff that he did, this is definitely better. And considering the police chief, that was nice for me. Considering throwbacks, he is the police chief in the old Cynthia Rothrock movie, Righting Wrongs 2. It was nice to see him again. And don't get too confused, people. There is a Tony Leung here, but it's not Rob's Tony Leung. This is different. Tony Leung here in Shadow Chase, or The Shadow's Edge is the American title. The next one, Rob, I was actually a little bit disappointed because I didn't get the cover artwork that I first wanted of this title. And I purchased actually the more expensive version, and I thought, doesn't look too good on the web page. But when I got it, and I said, oh, that surface of the disc, that is really nice. So I got from Play on Rob Blue Velvet.
Look at
And
that.
this
Ooh.
feels really cool, Rob. So this is something where I say, okay, on the webpage, it didn't make any big impact. And when I got it, Rob, and I felt, the softness here, the printing, I thought,
What is the equivalent when you say it's shiny? What is the equivalent for that disc? What would you call that disc? It's not shiny.
It's not shiny.
It's what? What is it, Dieter?
I need to look up an English adjective for that.
I'll bet
so
you
we've
do.
got the 4K, the Blu-ray, and the bonus Blu-ray, and the media book part for Blue Velvet from David Lynch, because the other cover artworks that were available were a little bit more provocative, I would say. But after I've got it, Rob, I felt the velour here a little bit. I said, "Yeah, this is nice, nicer than expected." Then a really nice little movie, Rob. I don't know if we already did our show when the director's duo of this movie came out with that movie, but I don't think so. I don't know if you have heard of this, Rob. It's called Reflection. This is shiny, Rob. Here we get to
That
the
is
shiny.
shiny. It looks like a Diabolic cover.
Correct, Rob. Reflection in a Dead Diamond. This is more of an homage to Diabolic stuff, 007 stuff, but this is style over substance, Rob. Totally. You have
of my life.
Older agent who remembers in flashbacks of his past, but it's totally style over substance. It goes to a movie set, it goes into a comic, But as a fan of Diabolic and stuff like that, it's totally worth your time. But it is unfortunately not a 4K. It's just a Blu-ray. And considering the IMDb, I think it was mostly shot on 16 millimeter. So it's really grainy, considering the picture quality. And the director's duo, here we have a nice little bit eye. And the director's duo did the movie Let the Corpses 10, I think, was the title. And this was pretty stylish too. And this is their new outing, Reflection in a Dead Diamond. And it's less than 90 minutes. So really, recommendations for everyone who loves style over substance is Italian in language. Is it? Am I right on this? I think it's Italian, French, and English is spoken in that movie, Reflection in a Dead Diamond. Then, Rob,
Nice.
even if I own No Retreat, No Surrender already, I've got a new edition, unfortunately not with a new transfer, but since it's one of my favorites with Cynthia, Retro Gold did went out all the stops and put it in this big chunky box here, which comes, unfortunately, I still hope that at some point Vinegar Syndrome or another boutique label will get the rights to the movie and do pretty awesome new 4K transfer, because the picture quality is really not the best. So we have, of course, the essay here in the beginning, and they always put it in German, and in the back you can find it in English. So it's always 2 times, and we have a comic strip in it. And I actually bought 2 of this because I will send one out to our connection, Paul and Brunotto, that he should give one to Cynthia, because even if she can't watch the disc because it's region B, I think this makes a nice piece, in her own collection. And it came with a poster, which is pretty thick. So No Retreat, No Surrender, Rob. This was my haul from this week.
And a fine haul it is. Most of my this week was all catch-up stuff I'd ordered, stuff that hadn't come in or whatever. So you've shown most of this, but I will start with this. Splitsville. I don't know if you saw this.
Have you seen it, Rob? Have you seen it?
Yes, and I loved it.
Awesome.
Loved Splitsville.
Rob, I had such a good laugh with the goldfish.
This movie is,
just saying goldfish. I'm not spoiling anything. Just saying goldfish.
There's not a lot of great comedies, but when they're good, they're good. Yeah. They're worth. I like a good comedy. Yeah. This was good,
and I think, Rob, the movie sets up the tone pretty quickly. If you're not into that kind of tone,
No, and Bottoms and the road trip. It was a road trip. What was it called?
Yeah.
Forget the Asian girls. What was that movie called that go on the
Joyride.
Joyride. I loved Joyride. I loved Bottoms.
Was it Joy Trip?
No, it's Joyride. You're right.
Yeah.
And I like this a lot too. So I had to pick this up. It wasn't very expensive either.
Yeah.
And then
I had a good time with Splitsville.
I did not get anything from Warner Archive this week, but they did send me this. Warner Brothers sent me Falling Skies. Now, this is the Steven Spielberg produced TV series that starred Noah Wyle. I've never seen any of this. They had done Taken, the show Taken, and I'm like, this is another. Yeah. And it's kind of weird because it's funny that I never saw it. It was on TNT, but this is the complete series, all 5 seasons. And I'm looking forward to dipping into this. It was just something I never watched, and now I've got it.
Nice.
Shout Factory title that I wanted to pick up. I got it on sale. Leaving Las Vegas. Love this film. This movie makes me want to drink whenever I see it, even though it's about a guy who drinks himself to death. It's kind of like the story of my life. I really love this movie. This is Nicolas Cage, incredible performance. Mike Vegas directed this movie, and he did, right? I love this film. Terrific film. Not a fun watch. I mean, it is a fun watch, but it's depressing. Loved it. Again, got it on sale. Finally got it. Minority Report. I got the 4K of Minority Report. Then, of course, Shout Factory titles. The Killer, which I guess I'll have to buy. I mean, this movie. This was the first John Woo movie I ever saw. Max is going to talk about.
I don't even know, Rob. What was the first?
Yeah, I saw this before I saw A Better Tomorrow. Before I saw God of Gamblers, and then I went back. Heroes Shed No Tears, and then I finally caught up with everything. But I'll tell you something. I have to say, and I don't mean to. I like Shout Factory. They put out Hills Run Red. They're great, but I do not like these glossy boxes, especially with foil. They get every time you touch them, practically they get dents in them, and the gold leaf scratches when you put it in you slide it in with other. I mean, and the other thing I got that Max showed, the Better Tomorrow box set, same thing. I mean, although I have to say, this actually came in it had an extra protective sleeve around it.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's cheaper to do. I'd much prefer, I'm going to show something next that you've already shown, but it has the perfect kind of box. But anyway, I think I might end up, the Arrow boxes with the O-rings have a matte finish on them. So.
And the covers look great for the Arrow ones.
The covers look great. And I wanted to get these, so I think I'm going to go Arrow on these. I'm sure the transfers are the same, but I love Arrow because they're killing it. And they had a sale. Arrow had I think it ended today. So Arrow had a sale, and I did some pre-orders. Like I pre-ordered Excalibur from them, and it might not come in the week it comes out, but, getting 50% off Arrow titles, pretty great. Can't wait. Did you see the early review of the Excalibur disc?
I haven't dived into them.
Somebody in the UK did it.
Yeah.
That movie has always looked like shit on home video. It's never looked good. This new transfer, and it's because of the way it's shot. Through it's heavily stylized filters. It looks so. I mean, a lot of people aren't going to like. Oh, it's got too much grain. It looks incredible. It looks incredible. I'm looking at this going, wow. One of the movies that I was always curious to see, like how Die Hard always looked like shit on home video too, until the 4K came out. because of the heavy stylization and the filters and the sunset going down in Nakatomi. And it was a revelation to see Die Hard in 4K. So I think in what Arrow's doing, I did have a conversation with George Feltenstein again this week, and we talked about a lot of interesting stuff that I can't reveal, but it's very, very exciting. One of the things in particular they're working on that'll come out, I think, at the end of the year is going to be, if you're a fan of classic cinema, it's one of the most classic movies. And what they're doing, it's going to look absolutely spectacular, but I can't say what it is. But, he was talking about how happy he is with Arrow and the relationship that, Arrow, Shout Factory, and Vinegar Syndrome is doing. We laughed because I said, dude, I can't believe that Vinegar Syndrome's putting out Don't Be Afraid of the Dark in 4K. And he laughed. He goes, I know it's a TV movie. I'm like, yeah, but it's in you guys mastered it in 4K and they're putting it out. I was like, click. It's the kind of movie that I hope Zoe or Sophie have kids, because then I'll have like grandkids. I can't wait to expose grandkids to movies that are going to terrify them. And Don't Be Afraid of the Dark when they're like 5 years old, totally going to show it to them. That's when I saw it. It scared the shit out of me. You watch it now, but I look forward to inflicting those movies on children, because it changed my life, and I could change theirs. But that brings me to my pick of the week, and you've already shown this, but I wanted it. I love this movie, Satoshi Kon's Perfect Blue.
Perfect Blue.
This matte finish with spot UV printing. Look at that. I mean. Yeah. I love this. Obviously, this is a big chonky box. It's something else that reminds me I don't own Possession. Possession's even bigger. But, you already showed all this stuff. Look, these animated films, they're total, it's a scam. I mean, these are so expensive. These are so expensive, but they're great. These animated box sets are amazing, because if you're a fan of this stuff, I mean, this thing, you've already shown it, but it's got posters.
And luckily, Rob, this is only a movie. If you're trying to buy a series, good luck on your cash.
But I love Satoshi Kon. I love Paranoia Agent. I love this, and unfortunately, he left us way too soon. But I wanted to go see that. It was playing in IMAX, Beauty was playing in IMAX a couple years ago. And then Demon Slayer was playing in IMAX too, but I didn't get to see it. I really love to see these classic Japanese animated films. Perfect Blue is an adult movie. Not adult like boom chicka boom boom, but it's got a little bit of that. But it's for adults. It's a thriller. Great film.
Considering Demon Slayer, Rob, I have to tell you, you should have seen the series first.
Yeah.
Until you can jump into the movie, because the movie is totally comes after season 5 was it? It totally continues there. There's no recap or anything, If you're going blind,
I would. That's why I didn't go see it. I wasn't going to. Go see
I don't think it would totally work for you. You should know the characters, how they are in the story itself. To get to the Infinity Castle, and then the movie is totally a blast. But otherwise, just as a movie, and then I can understand, Rob, that something like Demon Slayer perhaps didn't get an Academy Award nomination, because I don't think the movie can stand on its own.
Right? Yeah, 100%.
You have to be into the series to get to the movie. Chainsaw Man is a little bit different because there was only one season. But even there, I would say it's better if you have seen the shows before you watch those movies. Just to be up to speed. What's up there?
So that's it. That was my haul. Of discs. Nice. And then I got a bunch of Blu-ray or the steelbook slipcases, the clear ones, because I need them. So that is my haul, and the C Wing will open. I told him to come. I pushed the show later
a little bit. And I think we have some super chats.
Yeah, we got some super chats. Push 44 has become an imagination connoisseur. So welcome to the club.
Right.
Luis 16 Feliciano says, Rob, did you guys see the little video they dropped today for The Devil Wears Prada 2? The trailer is coming tonight. I didn't see that, but I can't wait to see that trailer. I'm sure it's going to be great. 8-Bit Sight says, my blind ass missed the Bruce Campbell cameo. Yeah, it was on the wall. It was the dead patriarch of the company. I missed it too. So
if it was just a painting, Rob, I probably would have
it was
not registered at all. But we're lucky they've kept us informed about that.
And then 8-Bit Sight says Paradise and Monarch are both coming back this month. Yep, I can't wait to see them both.
Okay.
I love Paradise and Monarch.
Yeah.
The second season looks bananas, so I can't wait to see that. Paul Brunato says, I hear the 4K transfer of Don't Be Afraid of the Dark is dark in certain scenes, especially near the ending. Get the Warner Archive Blu-ray instead. I have the Warner Archive Blu-ray, but it is, I believe, the same transfer. So, you know, wherever that leaves us, same transfer. And it's very funny. Last night, Pooch44 said, is there anything more metal than Don Johnson's Harry Maddox? The hotspot taught me a thing or two. There were definitely two. But the hotspot Radiance put out the hotspot. They did a great job with their transfer.
Look great.
Good stuff.
And Rob, unfortunately, I still haven't started the Beauty. I want to wait until a few episodes more. You know?
Well, there's 4 now.
I will wait.
There's 4.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, weekly, Rob. I hate it weekly.
Well, you know what? You know who's here? Ladies and gentlemen, you know him, you love him. He is Max Allen Collins. Max, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing fine.
Ooh, you sound good.
My son Nathan and I went to Send Help in 3D.
And I did too.
Tell us about it, Max.
Well, now this may be controversial, but I think it's the best, my favorite anyway, Sam Raimi movie since Army of Darkness.
Ooh,
I thought it was just incredible. It's kind of, it's difficult to say what exactly it is because it's sort of a horror movie. It's sort of a character study. It's, it's sort of a crime drama, I guess. Sort of a comedy. I mean, it really it checks a lot of my boxes. I can tell you that. I loved it, and we loved it. Now they only showed it in 3D here. We had to grab it at 11:30 on a Saturday afternoon because apparently some of the theaters are required to show it in 3D. They only ran it in my town for like 3 or 4 days. It's already done. I think it's done now.
The 3D was a lot of fun too.
Yeah, it was. I can't wait to take my wife to it because it was so much something she could have written. You will understand a lot about my marriage if you watch this movie. I love that.
Every day, Max.
The other thing I watched with Barb, and I don't have the box handed to. Well, I didn't watch this with Nathan. I watched this with Barb, but we watched the Righting Wrongs box that Dieter sent us. Would you show it? Because I it's off camera for me. There's another box out.
Dieter, keep holding that up. Let me go full frame on this. There you go.
Now, Vinegar Syndrome has it, but it's not this good. This is really. Is that 88 films? The new one?
Correct, Mix. The one that I sent you.
Box set,
because only there you can get the version where the ending could be random.
Also, there's an ending I had never seen before. It's a really good movie. I think it's probably Cynthia Rothrock's best Hong Kong movie. Would you agree, Dieter?
Yeah, definitely in the top spot. The top 3.
She's remarkable in it. I mean, there are a couple of fight scenes in that movie that are as good as anything in any of these movies. It's just incredible. So
like I said, Max, in The Shadow's Edge, the new Jackie Chan movie, the police chief is the same as in Righting Wrongs. He still has his mustache, you know?
Some things are eternal, I guess.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to talk about this week, start out with a Warner archive, as I often do. Okay, how am I doing? Oh, there it is. This is a film noir, a genuine film noir from 1952. And man, it's 71 minutes, and it gets in and it gets out. And it's on a train.
That's what she said, Max.
Well, it's on a train, and it keeps moving. It really keeps moving. It is comes from one of the directors who did quite a few good film noir, Richard Fleischer. Very interesting director. Directed one of your favorite films, Rob.
I know.
20,000 Leagues
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And you know what? It's always a good time to ask the question, Disney, why aren't Mary Poppins and 20,000 Leagues and Fantasia out on 4K with Dolby Atmos mixes? It's criminal.
Well, Fleischer is somewhat known for film noir because he did City Never Sleeps. I think no, he did. What did he do? Oh, he did Violent Saturday, and which is really good. And Follow Me Quietly. I love his movie, which is kind of a noir of Compulsion, which is the Loeb and Leopold murder case. With they're defended by Orson Welles playing basically Clarence Darrow. That's a Fleischer movie. And he, Rob, have you ever seen The Vikings that Fleischer did?
Yes, I have.
Fantastic movie. Fantastic movie. So this is a hell of a filmmaker. And as I think I mentioned last week, there's and I have no dog in this hunt, but there is a biography coming out on Fleischer. So keep it. That's going to be great because even when he did bad movies, they're interesting movies. And he did. I mean, he did some dogs, quite frankly, but he worked and worked and worked and worked, and he was what you might call a journeyman director. But when he got it, when he got a hold of a good script, he was hard to beat. So now this movie has a lot of has a major plot twist in it that I did not see coming. It has a great cast. Charles McGraw is a guy who played both heroes and villains in film noir. Sometimes he started as the hero and became a villain. I think in Roadblock, I think it's the one where he starts out honest and becomes a crooked cop. And one of the fascinating things about this movie, the premise, is that he is taking a witness who is testifying against the mob, and the witness is played by Marie Windsor, who's really film noir royalty when you get right down to it. And he's sneaking her across country on this train, and several times he is offered major bribes to betray the witness and play ball with the outfit. And there are moments where what I love about it is he thinks about it for a while before he says no. And that's really interesting in a movie like this. He's clearly not a goody two shoes. I really, and so he's great. Charles McGraw is great. He did a lot of TV. He was became a go-to tough guy actor. He'd be homicide, sergeants, and he'd be DAs and all these kind of stuff all through TV for the next 20, 30 years. He had this little period where he was a leading man. He's in a lot of movies in his heyday where he's just a supporting actor. So it's fun to see him, holding the reins of the, of the narrative. One of the writers is Martin Goldsmith, who wrote a major minor in terms of budget, but very famous Detour. So I mean, we've got Marie Windsor in it, and she's the witness who's being protected reluctantly by this cop, and she's from The Killing, for Pete's sakes. The City That Never Sleeps. I mean, she's film noir royalty. So That's a great movie. I love the fact that they could do a movie this powerful and do it in 71 minutes and just get in and get out. So
Yeah, for sure. And that is, of course, Narrow Margin, that was later remade.
yeah, not that well.
No, the remake was not good.
No, and it's interesting that they had all the budget in the world. They had Gene Hackman. I mean, they had all kinds of stuff going for them. But you know what? You got to have a good script, and you got to have a good director, and you got to not overblow the narrative. It knows how long it wants to be. And we see so many movies that run too long now that to see something that it's just refreshing. Now, one of Rob's favorite movies is The Verdict. Unfortunately for Rob, that's not The Verdict I'm talking about. This is not the Paul Newman one. This is the Sidney Greenstreet, Peter Lorre Verdict. It's a very interesting locked room mystery. It's in London with the whole fog thing going on. You know, there's a lot of mood. And it's an interesting look at how they kind of struggled with what do we do with Sidney Greenstreet and Peter Lorre as a team, because they're so linked to a movie called, I don't know if you're familiar with this movie, Rob. It's called The Maltese Falcon.
You know what, Max? From anything I know about the Maltese Falcon, it could probably fill a teaspoon. But you know what I know more about? The Return of the Maltese Falcon, which is out in hardcover and many other formats, which you can get right now, written by the great Max Allan Collins. If you haven't bought this book and you haven't read the original Maltese Falcon, my question to you is, why the heck not? Go out and get this goodness.
Well, now, of course, I wasn't fishing for that in any way.
Yeah, but I'm here to give it to you and give it to everyone out there because I'm proud of you, Max.
Well, they Lorre and Greenstreet. I mean, Greenstreet had been a stage actor. He was obviously a big, massive man, and he was not a likely leading man, shall we say. But he had this was his first movie. The Maltese Falcon was his first movie, and he and Lorre made a really big impact in that film. And so they kept putting them in films together. They're in Casablanca, for example, and so sometimes they use them as a team, but in a secondary way. Every now and then they tried to put them into the lead roles, like Mask of Demetrius is one of them, and this is one of those films where Greenstreet is essentially the lead. He's essentially the detective. He's an inspector who embarrassed himself by sending a guy to the gallows who turned out to be innocent, and that's haunted him in his life. And so that's the beginning of the movie. And now he's kind of the amateur sleuth in The Verdict, and Peter Lorre is his suspiciously sleazy friend who's following him around on the investigation. A good standard Warner Brothers movie. It does not have some of the, I mean, sometimes the secondary players in Warner Brothers movies are a little bit over the top, and there's a couple of those here. But basically, it's a good, solid movie. It is not great. It certainly is not The Verdict with Paul Newman, but it has some historic interest in that it was the first motion picture by to me a major director, Don Siegel. This is his first movie, and of course he went on to do Invasion of the Body Snatchers and
Dirty Harry.
I mean, an incredible classic. And he did some film noir. He did Riot in Cell Block 11, I think it's called. And then he did great. He had kind of a comeback. He kind of flourished in the 70s with things like Madigan with Richard Widmark. And, of course, when he made Coogan's Bluff with Clint Eastwood, they became a team, essentially. And so you have Dirty Harry happen, and you have other films that they did together. And also, basically, I think he was Eastwood's mentor as a director. He was who.
Oh,
Eastwood
he absolutely
really
was. Absolutely was.
Patterned himself after, yeah. So it's pretty interesting to see because I believe that Siegel had been basically a film editor, did a lot of montages, and he was very good at it. And it's interesting to see how well directed this movie is right out of the gate. There are a lot of slow push-ins on actors. I thought I thought he had a very good grasp of sort of the the vocabulary of filmmaking, perhaps because he spent so much time working, in editing and in doing montage and so on. So anyway, this is not a huge recommendation, but if you like this kind of thing, it's definitely worth your time. And we're
Nice.
we're kind of in the film noir area here, so I think that actually qualifies.
Okay, it fits.
Now, the other thing I would like to discuss, which is I think will please everybody who watches this show, is I got the new, I guess it's Shout Factory, is
Yep.
it?
Yeah.
Bullet in the Head, John Woo's Bullet in the Head.
To the head.
Now,
Didn't get around to it.
John Woo's
It is-
Apocalypse Now.
well, it's, oddly to me, it is kind of the Deer Hunter meets the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yes.
And I had not seen this since the early 90s. I got very enthusiastic about Woo at that time. And my son was young, he was like 11 maybe, I'm showing him all kinds. If we know anything, it's that I showed my son inappropriate films almost from the time of when he was maybe 7. There's much I would be in today's culture either canceled or jailed for.
At least you admit it, Max.
Well, yeah, my wife points this out to me from time to time. It turns out I'm flawed. I cop to that. But I was kind of amazed by this because I'm revisiting these movies as they come out.
Yeah.
And my my reading of them, because when I think back to when I was discovering John Woo, they just were a blur. John Woo movies are great, and they have all this stuff and these great action scenes, and the violence and just the balletic action and the heroic bloodshed, and so they kind of mush together. And so I was surprised, for example, as we talked here, that turns out I really like Better Tomorrow 2 better than some of the
work print, Max.
Yeah, better than some of the more celebrated ones. And I was really shocked by this. I think Bullet in the Head which doesn't have Chow Yun-fat in it.
Nope.
Which is something that may make some people kind of look at it askance.
But you know what though? Okay, if I might weigh in, I saw this movie later. I'd seen The Killer, I'd seen God of Gamblers, I'd seen Better Tomorrow, I'd seen obviously Hard Boiled. This was the last of the John Woo classics that I saw. This movie blew me away because it didn't have. Chow Yun-fat is a hero. He's like John Woo's alter ego. Yeah. He doesn't belong in this movie because it's not that kind of movie. And and you had kind of the Southeast Asia experience. People forget, our young whippersnappers today forget that one of the staples of movies in the 70s and the 80s, there were Vietnam movies and there were Holocaust movies. And there was a lot of them. And so, but we only got the experience of like Vietnam from our perspective. And watching Bullet in the Head, you get an entirely different perspective of that conflict and what was going on in that area of the world. And I loved it for that reason, but it was hardcore.
It's very hardcore. I do actually think this is his best film.
I agree.
I think this is his masterpiece. Let me tell you something. If you've been watching some of these movies out there and digging stuff like Hard Boiled and how much fun it is, you better buckle up on this one.
Yeah.
The center of this movie is not nougat, let's say. This is really hardcore. unsettling. The violence has consequences. Through the whole movie, the violence has consequences, which it doesn't always in John Woo movies, let's face it. This is very heartfelt. And the reason I compare it to Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, well, there's one thing, and maybe one of you guys can straighten me out on this, but there is a theme, which is the theme played in Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, when the soldiers are told to play with feeling. This melancholy, beautiful melancholy theme. It seems like it's either been appropriated in this movie or rewritten just enough to get away with it, because that theme is predominant. It's basically the theme of the movie, and it gives you even when the movie is fun, and the movie is fun at times. There's a couple of great action scenes, crime movie action scenes, particularly in the first half hour, that are just fun for an action fan. But the melancholiness of that theme, that Morricone type theme, is almost ever present in this movie to remind you that life can be pretty sad, can be pretty hard. So I think this is a fantastic movie. The three central performances are great, and again, there's the good and the bad and the ugly again, where you have that they're chasing gold, at least one, and one in particular, one of the characters is really chasing gold. They're chasing gold and doing this sort of crime story in the context of this war that's happening around them, that they periodically get caught up into. And that's, to me, it is the similarity with Good and the Bad and the Ugly. And it is a rare film that rivals Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I
totally agree with you, Max.
Well, I'm glad you do, because I was almost ashamed of myself for not realizing that at the time. But I was watching so much of the Asian stuff that sometimes I overappreciated some stuff. Like, for example, I don't think City on Fire is as good as I remember it. But others kind of got, again, mooshed together. So if you've never seen, if you like any John Woo movies and you're ready to buckle up, you don't want to miss A Bullet in the Head.
I totally agree.
The title is program in the movie, not chosen just because it sounds cool.
No. What about that Morricone style theme? What's interesting, because those movies played back in the day, were playing real fast and loose with rights. I mean, they just used stuff. But in the end credits of this movie, a couple of songs are credited. So, Rob, you're probably right. They probably varied the Morricone theme enough to get away with it. But it really is an overt, and there are other things, overt way that you can recognize that he is being influenced by Leone in this movie. Yeah. It really has. It really is, a far Eastern Leone movie.
Oh, totally.
So, well, that's pretty much what I have. I have nothing from the C Wing.
Well, we've had our noses.
I hadn't told you guys, but we did get shut down again.
What? Because of the snow?
Well, we had the problem with the toilets that they were backing up.
Yeah, so that's because people were putting things in them that weren't supposed to be put in them.
Well, we appropriated that money to get the new toilets that have the accelerated flushing power.
Yeah. Well, those are, for the body parts.
Yeah. We lost 2 of our smaller clients.
Well, But you know what else, Max?
They turned up, but it was in a
down the road
location,
somewhere.
And it was...
Yeah. Well, it was the frozen tundra out there, so you could just blame it. You just let people freeze, and it's fine.
They're knocking on the ice from the other side. So,
Major Chai Chai sends in a super chat, and she says, "Hi, Max. I finished Return of the Maltese Falcon yesterday. You captured Hammett's style and tone perfectly. Thank you for such a great read.
So beautiful women can be brilliant. I've said that from the day for a long, long time. Thank you, Major Chai Chai.
So that was cool. And Paul Bernardo says, I have to introduce Cynthia to Max. What a meetup that would be.
Bring the script for Black Creek 2 then, Paul.
I
Max
missed that.
Can get a crack at it.
What a meetup what would be?
If you could meet Cynthia Rothrock.
I'd write her a movie. All she has to do is ask. All she has to do is ask. I'll write one for her.
Just look over the script for Black Creek 2, Max.
Well, I have only one requirement. That is I have a walk-on for the co-host of this program, and it's not Rob.
Yeah, it's fine. I think we can arrange that. 8-Bit Sight says he loved the Criterion shout-out in Wonder Man. Yes, that was fun.
Yeah.
Did
you watch any Wonder Man, Max?
I have not seen that. It's on Disney, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good.
And I don't have. We dropped Disney and Hulu back when they were misbehaving.
Yeah.
Well, you got to get it back because you have to see The Beauty.
Have to see what?
The Beauty.
The Beauty.
The TV show The Beauty.
Okay.
You have to watch it. I mean, Major Chai Chai had a problem with the tone shifts, which I totally understand. But it's a hoot.
Well, we when we dropped them, we picked up Apple, and I got to say, there's some rocking stuff on Apple. We really like the first season of Hijack is amazing with Idris Elba.
Oh yeah, totally. By the way, Stubble McShave, by the way, our resident reader, says, I really liked Return of the Maltese Falcon. The prose was honed and sharp. In the book, they were on the search for that dingus. Now, what type of dinguses may one find in the Sea Wing? I love Stubble.
Well, the Maltese Falcon is black enamel. The dinguses in the Sea Wing are definitely, some are black, but they're not enamel.
I got to talk about Stubble McShave on the John Campea show this week. That was fun. He must have had a conniption when Brandon Sanderson announced his deal. What an honor.
I have to say, it's really nice to hear some of the viewers that have been picking up Return of the Maltese Falcon. You and I had a nice conversation. If they want to see us talk about it, Rob, we did about 45 minutes on it, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We did a show about it. Really. By the way, Max, I should mention on this show, people are very aware of True Noir, the assassination of Anton Cermak. But True Noir, we finally did it. We have worldwide distribution. It's going to be everywhere instead of having to go to our rinky-dink little website, which also, by the way, has been redesigned, as you've seen. We're entering the big time. True Noir is going to be available everywhere February 17th, including on Audible. And there's going
on physical media. Media.
This is the funny thing. We had to kind of wait to see once we had the distribution in play whether or not we could even do the Blu-ray, which they're allowing us to do. We can do the Blu-ray. But yes, it's a 4 CD set. It says it's an MP3, which I don't like but it's only the 2-channel stereo mix. The Blu-ray that all the donors are going to get is going to have the 5.1 mix on it, which is spectacular.
And that which comes from Skyboat, the 4 CD set. What point was I going to make about that? I lost my train of thought.
I work with.
I'm just going to say it is the long edited version, so you don't have. It isn't 10 chapters. It's one continuous narrative. And
we do mention each chapter, but it's all one long thing, so you don't have to listen to the credits. And there are it's really great. I mean, when you listen to, although it is broken up over 4 CDs, so I don't know where they made the breaks. Hopefully the edits are good because it's one long thing. But on Audible, you can listen to the entire 4.5 hours. It's interesting because they call everybody narrators because for audio dramas they haven't. The star-studded SAG cast that we are, people aren't going to know what it is, and now it's finally eligible for a Grammy Award.
Well,
and I do have delusions of grandeur, so
maybe my
Maybe
favorite
acceptance
thing,
speech already, bro.
maybe
Yeah.
my favorite thing in this lately of getting our distribution going, the guy at Stefan Rudnicki, who is the guy at Skyboat Media, I had told him because they've done a lot of my books as audiobooks, and I basically pitched this to him as, hey, we have an all-star cast, and then I would mention 2 or 3 of the names. Well, he came back when he saw the list of the actual, the actual, what is the word for that, where we have to show people in a certain order and everything.
The billing block.
Yeah, the billing block. When he said that, he wrote me, he had about flipped out. He had no idea the level of talent we had in there, the famous people, the talented people that are part of that cast. So thank you, Christine.
Christine Sheik's our producer. Yeah, I mean, and you know what? I'm hoping that, look, we put a lot of work into it. And for me, it's the best script I've ever been able to work with. I was so honored to direct those actors and to work with Christine, but mostly to work with you. And we had that great relationship. I had you come in on almost every single voice recording session to be there, and we got to experience all of that and to work with the tremendous Michael Rosenbaum. And now
great.
there's talk. I mean, there is talk. I was the first. Mike owes you a phone call, but it looks like the first weekend in April or beginning of April, we are going to do an event at the local museum, I guess in Davenport. Is it in Davenport?
Yeah.
They have an
it's an IMAX.
IMAX. They have so my dream has always been to play True Noir in a movie theater. Well, it looks like we're going to not only be in a movie theater, but in an IMAX theater. So we're going to have a 2-night event where we're going to show the Maltese Falcon, and then you're going to speak afterwards about the Maltese Falcon, the return of the Maltese Falcon, the first night. And the second night, we're going to play the first 2 hours of True Noir in an IMAX theater, turning off all the lights, and just listen to it in the theater of the mind in that IMAX sound system, where I can't, and I'm going to ask Michael if he wants to come, and hopefully I was going to ask George Feltenstein as well to maybe come out and we can have
Really?
Yeah. I haven't asked him yet, but Mike suggested it, and he had already suggested it to the museum people. I don't even know if George would want to travel, but to do a presentation before we showed Maltese Falcon and talk about, because it went through a 4K restoration a couple years back, and it's a beautiful disc. And then you guys can talk about the movie and things, and I'll interview you if he wants to come or whatever. But it's going to be a 2-night event in early April at that. I'm not sure what the name of the museum is, but they're very, very excited. So it's going to be a 2-night Max Allan Collins event for patrons of the museum.
I'll be circulating through the audience, selling copies of my books and peanuts.
There you go.
Yeah, it's very, very exciting. One of the ironies of this is because that you may know that I'm a physical media collector.
Never,
And so
I did not know that.
I have the 4K of the Maltese Falcon, and I watched it when it came out. Was maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So when this project came about, one of the rules for writing this book was that I was not to revisit the movie. I was not to revisit the 1931 version. I was not to read the stories that Hammett wrote that weren't in the public domain. I had to only refer to Hammett's book, and I could look at research material about San Francisco in the 20s and early 30s. But other than that, so when I finished writing the book and had submitted it and it had been accepted, then my wife and I sit down and we watched Maltese Falcon.
Finally.
Yeah, finally. But see, I could not.
I'm free.
I could not use any descriptions of any actors in the book. I had to use Hammett's descriptions as my guide. I couldn't use locations as he described them.
Yeah.
I could use the locations as he described them. I couldn't say Spade's office as it is in the movie, or the outer office, or that was all. That's not public domain yet. That won't be public domain for probably 20 years, I guess.
Sure.
So it was a really interesting experience, and I actually loved it because it was like I had to crawl inside that book that I love. It was fascinating. It
Yeah.
was fascinating. So I'm really glad that some of our smart listeners have like it, and our other listeners need to catch up with him.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a lot
Get
of
in the
fun.
game.
And I can't wait for, I can't wait for the people at large, because I feel that the only people that really know what true noir is the people that watch my show, this show, and Robservations. There's no, and everybody who wanted it purchased it and supported it, and I'm thankful for that. But it's going to be unleashed on a world where suddenly it's going to get, millions of people will have, and hopefully millions of people will watch it or listen to it, and maybe, I'll have a few extra shekels to buy more physical media.
Well, you mentioned Michael Rosenbaum. I would like to just say that because the Nathan Heller novels, the Nathan Heller stories are told by Nathan Heller. He is a traditional narrator, and everything to me in our production hinges on whether or not we get Nathan Heller right. And you looked, I know you searched to find the right voice.
Yeah.
And it wasn't easy, was it?
No, I mean, we did obviously a proof of concept, but then we had to go out and cast a Nathan Heller. And it was really interesting because there was a lot of different people. Like in the story, Nathan Heller's 26 years old, and Michael's obviously in his 50s. One of the people that actually gave an amazing read was Robert Patrick, the T-1000 himself.
Yeah.
But he was, he's much older, and I will definitely use him in the future. I mean, the guy's an incredible actor, but I love his voice, and he seems like so much fun when you see him on social media. And he's good at playing villains. Like, maybe we'll have something for him when we do true crime, and we have the different villains.
Well,
but so I was listening, and I finally, I told Christine I didn't want to know who I was listening to. And I'm listening to voices, and I'm listening to voices, and I'm listening to voices, and I'm like, this is the guy. Like, it wasn't like either or. It was one of those things where I'm like, this is it right now, right here. And then she told me it was Michael Rosenbaum. And it's so interesting because I love his Inside of You podcast.
I do too.
He does such a great job. But I didn't know him. Actors can be prickly. You never know. He was the nicest, the coolest, and one of the most intuitive actors that I've ever met. Like when
he sounds 26 years old too.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And what was really interesting with him is we were, as you know, he would do the line readings, and I insisted that we record all the narration first, which I think was very different because it's like he's looking back on his life. And that was difficult. That was because there's so much goddamn narration, and you really had to like him. But we did that, and he would do the line readings and stuff, and when I would say that was good, he goes, no, let me do one more. And then it would put the little zhuzh on it that made it perfect. Because I figured we couldn't, but he was so much fun to work with and watch him bring that character out. And then I had him work with Corey Landis, who read opposite him with all the other actors, which is something I insisted upon. Normally people are in a booth doing it by themselves. And then I brought Chris Carr back in as the love interest, and all of the scenes with her and Nathan Heller, her and Michael Rosenbaum, are gold. Just fucking gold. And Chris Carr had never done anything like this before. She was incredible too, as Mary Ann Beam. And, she was a friend of mine. It's like, she was the only person that kind of, because I thought we were going to cast, I'll just cast my friends. But then when I read your script and we realized we had to treat this like a movie. That's when I called Christine, and I'm like, look, I know it's an audio. She didn't call me back for a week. She's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. But then she finally read the script. She goes, this is amazing. And I said, I know it's amazing, and that's why I need to hire you. You've got to come produce this, and we've got to get a stellar cast. And then Marianne, Chris Carr was the last vestige of friends and people I knew that I didn't. I'm like, you're the lead actress in this, and I never looked back. And she was amazing, amazing.
Well, one of the factors here with Michael is the fact that he does sound somewhat youthful, and the Heller books, there are like 19 of them.
Yep.
And the first one, and it goes through basically the history of crime in America in the 20th century.
Mid-20th century, yeah.
And it starts in like 31, and the most recent one is in 68, and I have 1968. So Heller ages appropriately.
Right.
And of course, we have the dream of doing more of these audio dramas, doing movies.
Well, yeah, you've written an incredible screenplay that's set in 1947, and
he can play it.
I want to direct that movie so bad because it's about a true serial killer case. It's very David Lynchian, and the screenplay you wrote is spectacular. And what I'm doing now is I'm building an animatic, which you'll be able to sit down and watch the whole movie.
Oh, that's
the
great.
way I see it, and I may be using AI for the animatic to create a certain person's voice again.
not for public consumption, though.
No. But another thing that we got to do, a lot of people don't even know this, like Anthony LaPaglia was in your movie. He was playing Al Capone in Road to Perdition, and his scene was cut. It was cut out of the film.
They are on the Blu-ray, but where is the 4K?
Where's the 4K? But I'd watched those scenes. I've got the disc, but I'd watched those scenes online, and I said to Christina, I go, can we get Anthony LaPaglia to come back and play Al Capone? And she's like, well, I don't know if we can get him. I'm like, yeah, but we can try, right? Because wouldn't it be cool if? And she got him. And he was in Sydney, Australia, doing Death of a Salesman on stage. And he came in his dark day at a studio in Sydney, Australia. I brought in David Starzyk to read opposite him to play Nathan Heller, because there's only one scene that he's in. He's in episode 4. And he was so much fun, and
it's a big scene. It's a big scene, though. He has a lot to do.
Yeah, and that was the first voice that I recorded for the drama, and that was in May of 2024. And then we didn't have a Nathan Heller, and I recorded all the way through the end of 2024 and was editing in 2025. So, and now I can finally get everything.
We'll talk about this some more when we know what the dates are on this big event that's coming in April.
Yep.
But
the big date is February 17th.
February 17th.
You can go to Amazon now. The artwork has been finalized. They haven't put the artwork up yet of that Nathan Heller picture, but it is finalized. So you can pre-order the audio drama if you don't have it already. It's not the 10 episodes you got when you bought it from us. It's the long play 4.5-hour version if you get it on Audible, but it'll be everywhere. So, or you can get the CD set if you want the physical media, which is something we weren't going to do, but it exists, and it's really nice.
For really big money, Rob and I will come to your house, but that has to be negotiated.
Yeah, it's true, and we will bring some of the tools we use at the B&B Motel, including the Sea Wing, and we would bring Dieter with us, but you got to fly him in from Europe, and according to his rider. He gets first class, and he gets his favorite foods on the plane. And you got to fly him first class.
The fact that we're closed down for a week while this elaborate plumbing is being tweaked, it does allow us, Rob, to do a lot of sterilization that needs to be done. So when we make the trip into people's homes, we will have thoroughly sterilized equipment with us.
Which is good, because the hepatitis outbreak wasn't a good look for us. Yeah, I know. We covered it up. No one knows.
Always hell or high water.
That's in Wing H.
Richard Curtis sends in a very generous super chat and says, I'm going to a local bookshop soon to get some hard case crime books I saw, as well as quite a few Max Allan Collin titles, and they also had at least one by Robert Silverberg.
Yes.
I have also now read the OG Maltese Falcon, which was fantastic. So Richard Curtis, you're in for a treat, because if we didn't mention it before, The Return of the Maltese Falcon is a fantastic book, and it's a beautiful, brilliant sequel to the original. Major Chai Chai says she's already checking flights to Davenport in April. Yeah,
all right. All right.
So that'll be fun. That's going to be fun. That'll be a great weekend because you know where I get to finally go? Your basement.
Some people have never come back.
Yeah, well, I can't wait. I can't. Max Allen Collins' house, by the way, I have to say, is a treasure trove of delights, and not just because his hot wife is there, but he has beautiful. Your comic art collection, and we're talking comic strip art from newspapers, is probably second to none in the world. You have the actual painting of the one sheet for the two Jakes. You know, you have an astonishing treasure trove of goodness in every nook and cranny of your house. So I can't wait to really spend some time there.
It's not worth as much as the friendship of two guys I know who are in separate rooms on different continents.
Well, that's what we do. That's what we're here for.
It's still going.
It's still going. Well, Max, we will
All right,
let you go.
Are you through with me? Have you had your way with me, gentlemen?
Yes. You know, these 3 ways are tremendous.
Yes, they are. I'm glad we're not going completely full screen.
We can do that too, you know.
All right, guys. I hope to see you next week.
And so you
Okay,
shall, Max.
Just quick, Max. Is your book in Writing Wrongs signed too? Just asking, you know. Just asking.
Max, you can't leave quite
You
yet.
need to have connections.
I don't think I have a Cynthia Rothrock autograph either. I wish I had a connection.
Thanks to Paul.
Stubble McShave has another question for you, Max. There was a reference to a famous British detective at the end of The Return of the Maltese Falcon. I was not sure if he really existed in this world based on Spade's comment or if it was purely a work of fiction. Can you shine a light on this?
I'm not. Would you repeat the front end of that again?
Oh, said there was a reference to a famous British detective at the end of the book. Your book.
Probably Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I write them. I don't read them. You know. I always tell the publishers when they want to reprint something of mine, I say that's enough for you to reprint it. When they say they want me to read the new galleys, I say you can't afford having me read it again. You can afford publishing it. No, that's not true. I love my book. I'll go look at it and see. Toward the end, huh?
Yeah, dude. What'd you do? Chat GPT that shit or what? Come on. A reference to a famous British detective at the end of the book.
Well, I'm sure it was Holmes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the rest of those guys are all chumps.
Well, there you go. And on that note, before Max gives away the ghost, we're gonna let Max go. Go back to the Sea Wing.
Thank you.
We will see you next week.
Have a nice Sunday.
We'll get those new toilets chugging. I promise.
I hope chugging is right. All right, I'll see you. We will see you later. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the wonderful Max Allen Collins. Which, hey, who doesn't love Max Allen Collins? So yeah, that's all the news that is fit to print. Let's see if anybody else dropped in. I want to make sure I'm caught up on super chats. And it looks that way. So, yeah.
So, do you have news for us, Rob? Considering what
we got a lot of news. Lot of news. First of all, let's start with our friends over at Severin. You know what? Those guys don't get nearly the credit they deserve. Severin is always putting out some banger box sets, and they got 4Ks of shit like Delicatessen and Antiviral, and there's a Emmanuel box sets. But they're putting out another one. And the next one they're putting out is this. Antonio Margheriti. The Jungles of Doom.
With Indiana Jones font.
I mean, I don't think in Europe they ripped off Indiana Jones and they ripped off Raiders of the Lost Ark and Escape from New York more than any other movies. But this is the Antonio Margheriti. And if you don't think they're... Look at this. I mean, look at this. They're totally... Come on. Now, this is a box set with 3 films in it. And we've got The Hunters of the Golden Cobra. which that looks kind of dope. Then we have the Ark of the Sun God. And finally, we have Jungle Raiders. All right. And yeah, a great box set from Severin if you want to jump into these films. Margariti. So that's pretty exciting.
But considering these three cover artworks, Rob, you have something like this, looks more like an Agatha Christie novel, you know? More like a murder mystery. Then you have the second one, who looks more like a Rambo ripoff.
Totally.
And the first one more in the Indiana Jones tradition.
Yeah, and so this box set, I mean, and if you didn't get it yet, I mean, look at the logo on the front.
Yeah,
I mean, there you go. But Severin
and the Jungles of Doom.
Severin does a great job. The '80s adventures films of Antonio Margheriti. Yeah. So that's pretty exciting. And here comes from Kino. Kino Lorber is putting out another. They speaking of Raiders of the Lost Ark or Raiders of the Paramount Library. The Phantom.
Finally, Rob. Finally,
Slam
because
Evil.
I was already ready under the impression it got lost in the shuffle because it was announced and I never heard anything about it. One of my favorites, Rob. I still have the Laserdisc of.
Yeah, I really like this movie. Billy Zane was great.
Yeah.
This isn't the only thing that they've rated from the Paramount Library. We'll get to that as we go, but this is coming out in 4K from Kino. Warner Brothers is putting out Sleepers in 4K, which is interesting. The 30th anniversary of Barry Levinson's Sleepers, and this is a brand new 4K release, and this is going to come out sometime in the spring. Great movie, if depressing, but hey, what's not to love? Kino Lorber also is putting out, this is not House of Cards the show, this is House of Cards the movie, with Orson Welles and George Papard. I've never seen this movie before, but John Gillerman, who directed King Kong, directed this, the 70s King Kong, directed this in 1968, and this hits the market on the 21st of April, and witness the intrigue and suspense behind every door, every window, every move of every player in the House of Cards. Reno Davis, an American boxer in Paris, stumbles upon an international conspiracy when hired by the mysterious widow Anne de Villemont, played by Inger Stevens, to look after her 8-year-old son. All roads lead to Rome and a showdown with devilish arch conspirator Orson Welles playing a Lycian Hot. I don't know. But this is a Technicolor film, and I'm sure it's fun. And it's coming from Kino Lorber. Then we're going back to Arrow and their deal with Warner Brothers. Here we go, The Soldier with Kurt Russell, a movie that famously takes place in the Blade Runner universe. That's right, people. You're not a true Blade Runner fan unless you own Soldier.
Soldier.
And I'm not kidding.
It's always that
True
one
story.
movie, Rob, that I always forget in Paul W.S. Anderson's filmography. I always forget Soldier. I don't know.
Yeah,
why,
and it's one of his earliest. You know?
Yeah.
One of his
And there's
earliest.
a lot, Rob, that there's a lot of stuff in the trailer for that movie that didn't make the final cut.
I know.
What happened with those scenes. You know, there were a lot of space battle scenes even in the trailer.
Yep. And another great title that Arrow's putting out from Warner Brothers is Joe Dante's Inner Space.
Oh, nice.
Delightful film with incredible ILM effects work in it. Really, really like this movie. It has a new Dolby Vision HDR presentation. Arrow's been killing it with their transfers, so I'm sure it looks incredible. And you know what? Drew McWeeny.
That is the first time, Rob, that it is being released in 4K. Or am I wrong?
You know, it is. Yep.
It is.
Yep.
Okay.
Drew
Awesome.
McWeeny, our friend Drew, Moriarty from 80 Cool News back in the day, he did an audio commentary on this disc. So I think that's pretty cool. Shout out to Drew McWeeny for that. That's pretty neat. Yeah. And there's a bunch of restoration stuff in there, new titles, and it's I'm sure it's going to be great. So that's exciting. Those are the two Warner Brothers titles that they're announcing. Then we jump back over to Asia, and they're releasing The Eye in
awesome.
4K. Yeah, The Eye is a really
that movie creeped me out, Rob. That movie creeped me out.
It's a creepy film, and very excited to get this. So, and this is again a 4K restoration in Dolby Vision.
Yeah.
And the Pang brothers who made this, obviously they made their movie Bangkok Dangerous. The Pang brothers made this, and they did this film.
Remade with Jessica Alba in the States.
Yep. So we got that coming out, and from Arrow, and then we jump over to this Day of the Locust, a movie I really, really love, a Hollywood story, and really like this movie. And this is coming out. I was happy that they put this out in 4K. I really like this movie. They've released this movie before, but great to have it. And again, this is only a 2K restoration, so actually it's not in 4K, unfortunately. But John Schlesinger made this, and screenwriter Waldo Salt wrote it. And this is based on Nathaniel West's satire of Hollywood and Hollywood decadence. And the villain from Die Hard, William Atherton, the villain from he's not just one of the villains in Die Hard. He's a reporter in Die Hard. But I really like William Atherton a lot, and he's in this movie, so that's a lot of fun. Day of the Locust, and then of course we get to see Arrow's version of The Killer, and look at that artwork. Even though I just got The Killer, you got to get that artwork. You got to get that disc.
And like I told you, Rob, they will be releasing workprint versions, I think.
They're releasing. It's a 3-disc set. They're releasing the 130-minute Taiwan extended cut.
Yeah,
and then
Taiwan often gets a different cut with the Hong Kong stuff. Not only with the John Woo movies from simply the Hong Kong library itself. Taiwanese cuts were always a little bit different. I don't know why, but it was different. Taiwanese, they almost gotten always the longer cut. Often it's just more story stuff or something like that. But really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's great. And then they're rounding out these releases with Ginza Butterfly, Wandering Ginza Butterfly, the Wandering Ginza Butterfly collection. And on the same year that she defined the action heroine with her role in the female prisoner Scorpion series, which is another great physical media release, Japanese screen legend Miko Kaji teamed up with future sister Street Fighter director Kazuhiro Yamaguchi for a diptych of gambling, deception, and violence set on the mean streets of 1970s Tokyo, Wandering Ginza Butterfly, and its sequel, She-Cat Gambler. So, what's not to love? So, the first film sees Kaji's character, Nami, the red cherry blossom, returning to her old stomping ground in the seedy Tokyo district of Ginza after a stint in prison for killing a Yakuza boss. She soon settles in, living in her uncle's pool hall and working at the local hostess club, but when ruthless Yakuza Owada attempts to take control of the club, Nami and her uncle devise a plan to take him down. So there you go. This comes out April 7th. And that's what Arrow is putting out in April.
Yeah.
And then we jump over to this. This is kind of an interesting title that, to be honest, I know nothing about. This is Lucio Fulci, director of Zombie. Calderon is putting this out. Conquest.
See?
And Calderon is putting this out when a mysterious stranger from the New York actor from the New York Ripper travels from faraway lands to explore. He's quickly attacked by the evil Okrin, a wolf, and the wolf-like henchman to steal his magic bow. Fortunately, he's saved by the brave barbarian, and the two embark on an epic quest to defeat Okrin and all of the land's most vile creatures. Attempting to ride the success of Conan the Barbarian, the Italian film market turned its attention to the fantasy realm for a series of films, with Fulci's Conquest remaining the best to emerge from the period. This is a 3-disc, actually it's a 4-disc set because it comes with a CD, but it's got a new 4K restoration, Dolby Vision from the original camera negative. It has audio commentaries. Disc 3 is packed full of special features and the soundtrack. This might be interesting. The soundtrack is by Claudio Simonetti, which is cool. So, hey, if you like Conan the Barbarian, there you go. I've never seen this. And then, if you don't, jump over to Jess Franco's Jack the Ripper. I've never seen this movie either. Cauldron Films is also putting this out. This is a combo pack release of it's the 50th anniversary release of Jack the Ripper. And this is also a new 4K restoration. And what's not to love? One of the many films prolific director. Yeah, it is.
It's not
yep.
It's
He was collaborating with producer Erwin C. Dietrich. Jack the Ripper feels like a Hammer film directed by a maniac, full of period costumes, foggy cobblestone streets, and an extra helping of gore and nudity, with supporting performances by Herbert Fuchs, literally F-U-X, and Franco Muse Lynn Romay. Jack the Ripper is sure to please Euro horror sickos. Hey, you had me at Euro horror sickos, so there you go. And then, of course, Dieter, before I bring up this next one, we've been waiting. I have been waiting for this 4K release. Not since To Live and Die in L.A. It's
a high bar to clear.
Kino finally got to live.
Oh, I know it, Rob. Can I say it?
Would you like to say it? I will.
Go it.
Fuck yeah, dude. Craig Baxley, Stone Cold in 4K.
Awesome.
In 4K.
But they double dipped us, Rob. You know.
I know.
I know. They tricked us, Rob. They tricked us.
With reversible cover, new 4K restoration from the original camera negative and the best available materials. It is in Dolby Vision and in HDR, and it's got the 5.1 and 2-channel stereo mixes, and then of course they've just got their Blu-ray. Come on, dude. Actually, I was looking at the wrong spec. That is not the correct spec. This is a new 4K restoration. It is Dolby Vision and HDR, and then it says that it's got new scene-specific audio commentary from director Craig Baxley, as it should. So,
Blu-ray was already ready. Was already pretty decent.
Packed.
Looking forward.
You gotta love that. You got to love that. I can't wait. Now we jump back over to the boys and girls over at Severin. Another box set. If one Severin box set wasn't enough, they have another one. The Gutter Auteur, The Lost Legacy of Andy Milligan. We've got disc 1 is The Degenerate, The Life and Films of Andy Milligan. Then we have The Degenerates and Compass Rose, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, and House of the Seven Bells. So if Antonio Margheriti wasn't enough, you can get this from Severin, The Lost Legacy of Andy Milligan. So there you go. And you can learn about his sordid life and his sordid movies. What's not to love?
I actually, Rob, I like it when they make it look a little bit banged up, with the rim.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And now we go back to Paramount, and we go back to Kino Lorber raiding the Paramount vaults and bringing us some goodness. The Saint with the late, great Val Kilmer. But actually, Kino Lorber's not putting this out. Paramount is putting this out themselves, which I don't understand. But okay. It should be Kino Lorber. But Paramount's putting this out.
It's bizarre what goes to Kino and what it do themselves.
Yeah, just give it to Kino. But it's okay. Maybe they'll put it in a steelbook. So, hey, I really like this movie. It's a lot of fun. And Simon Templar on the big screen. What's not to love? And then if because everybody needs it, a Faces of Death steelbook. What the hell? What the hell? It's like
forbidden treasure, Rob. Forbidden treasure here.
It's like the garbage can driver in Terminator. What the hell?
Video nasty.
This is coming out from Dark Sky Films, and it began as a graphic exploration of one destiny we cannot escape. It would soon become the most morally controversial, critically reviled, and financially successful documentary of the VHS era. Parents tried to stop it. Video stores had to hide it, yet across the nation, millions found ways to secretly watch it if they dared.
Correct, Rob.
Faces of Death, for all of you
Even-
fiendishly disgusting people out there, you can get it now. Now we're
Even
back.
without the internet, back in the day, Rob, it had hype to it.
It had hype, man. Kids loved it. Now we go back to Kino. Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins, starring Fred Ward. I really love this movie. And they're putting this out in 4K. This was announced quite some time ago. But again, this is coming to us in 4K. And it's 2 discs, 4K disc, new Dolby Vision presentation. And it's got a bunch of the Blu-ray, and it's got a bunch of special features. So there you go. They never quite got to be the series people wanted, but hey, what can you do?
Yeah.
And then Eureka, the Film Masters series, not to be outdone or forgotten. They've got some cool things coming out. Another adventure calls, wildly entertaining and beautifully cinematic. Again, I love when they do this, and they don't like when they put out the DIFA stuff. I didn't know anything about this. The writer Karl May is a household name in his native Germany, where he is associated with thrilling Western tales.
Those are the Westerns where, the Michael Bully Herbig movie, The Shoe of Manitou comes from, the comedy. Those are the original ones.
Wow, okay. Well, so you know.
Yeah.
This box set.
Big hits here in Germany, Rob. Big hits.
Yeah, this has Winnetou. This has Old Shatterhand, Winnetou and Old Shatterhand in the Valley of Death.
Yeah.
The Shoot through the Wild Kurdistan, in the Kingdom of the Silver Lion, the Treasure of the Aztecs, and the Pyramid of the Sun God. And so, how cool is that? It's pretty cool. And then, not to be outdone, they are releasing, again, I have to double dip, Danger Diabolic, Mario Bava's Danger Diabolic. Yes, do I have the Kino version? Yeah. I do. But this, it's a 4K restoration of the film by Paramount, so it's probably the same transfer. But you know what? I don't care. I want to get the Film Masters or Masters of Cinema version. It's coming out. If you didn't get the Kino version, get this. I love this movie. Not for everybody, but it's great. And then we have the new Hammer release. I'm sure Max will dig this. Man Trap. Man Trap is putting this out. This is another one of their... This is a 4K Blu-ray release. This comes to us from... It's Terrence Fisher directing. Man Trap from 1953. And it stars Paul Henreid and Lois Maxwell. Moneypenny herself. Man Trap is a sharply crafted early 1950s crime thriller that blends post-war anxieties, dry wit, and shadowy intrigue. Paul Henreid stars as a former intelligence officer drawn into a dangerous investigation amid the bomb-damaged streets of London, where nothing and no one is quite what they seem. And both the UK and US versions are included, along as with all these Hammer releases, with a wealth of special features and commentaries and stuff like that. And now we run Just Jackin. I always say Just Jackin just because I'm pure island stupid. Yeah. But the director of the original Emmanuel is back with Cult Epics, and this is a 4K Blu-ray release of I think it's Jackin. Girls from 1980. This movie is from 1980. 4 teenage friends explore the busy disco clubs of their inner city, meeting and exchanging different boyfriends while quickly evolving into young women fully aware of their sex appeal. Amen.
We have even the German title, Rob, here. Die kleinen Aufreißerinnen.
Yeah, what does that mean?
The small, let's say, getting to know you.
Well, that's coming to us from Cult Epics. I'm sure there's things in there that will make me feel unclean, which is why I want to get it. Now we go down to Australia, into the land of Kelvin Wellborn, and Via Vision's putting out Saw 4 in 4K. So Saw 4, there you go. And then we've got that, and then in 2K, they are releasing a box set of The Exorcism of Emily Rose. So they do a good job with these box sets. Always worth getting. You know, it's all expensive to send things. Again, Vampire Circus is coming out from Down Under. Can't wait to get that. But hey, we got these coming. Then we have, if Titane wasn't enough for you, Alpha. Julia, I don't want to mispronounce her name, but Curzon in the UK is preparing a 4K Blu-ray and Blu-ray release of Julia Ducournau's Alpha, and this is from 2025. I have not seen Alpha, so I will be picking this up. Alpha 13 is a troubled teenager who lives alone with her mother. The world comes crashing down the day she comes home from school with a tattoo on her arm. Something tells me there's a lot more to it than just that. It also says that there's a documentary called Reimagining Body Horror in Alpha. Okay, count me in. Then we have Tag, the Assassination Game. Tag, the Assassination Game is coming again. The folks at Synapse killing it, coming out with these wacky titles. Nick Castle, the Shape in Halloween, who also directed The Boy Who Could Fly. This is the Assassination Game. And before the majority of 1980s college movies were all about nudity, slapstick comedy, beer bongs, and bad decisions, Tag, the Assassination Game gave this genre a killer twist. In this 1982 film noir-inspired gem, a group of students turns dorm life into a mock battle royale by playing a game that could never be done on campuses of today. The rules of Tag are simple. Players try to quote-unquote murder each other using rubber-tipped toy dart guns. If you are shot, you are killed and taken out of the game permanently until only one player remains. Unfortunately for this year's Tag players, one sore loser is determined to win at any cost, even if it means murdering his companions or murdering his competition for real. So there you go. It's a sharp, stylish reminder that sometimes the most dangerous games are the ones we invent for fun. And there you go.
I hope Amazon will list it too, not only being available on the Synapse website, because they don't ship internationally.
Listen who's in this. Linda Hamilton's in this. Perry Lang's in this. Bruce Abbott from Reanimator. Xander Berkeley is in this. Forrest Whitaker is in this. What a cast. Michael Winslow from the Police Academy movies. Crazy. So, hey, you go, Synapse.
Yeah.
And then we have the second Twin coming out. I don't know really anything about this, but it clearly is some French thriller that what's not to love about that. And it's from Kino Lorber, and they usually put out great stuff. So that's cool. And then we go over to an early Ezra Miller movie called After School, Young Ezra Miller. This is from 2008. So it's we have to talk about Kevin, I believe. And Rob is a prep school kid obsessed with online porn and violent videos. When he accidentally films a drug overdose by a popular girl on his camera, his obsessions become reality. Dun, dun, dun. So there you go. And then we have an animated set coming out, the Champion Collection from Famous Studios and Cartoon Logic. Classic Flicks is putting this out. And this is a unique label in the home video landscape. Cartoon Logic's exclusive focus is on restoring classic animated shorts, which have never been seen or have only been available in muddy, hard-to-find prints. And so when Paramount Pictures reorganized its animated shorts operation as Famous Studios, so began a search for a new identity. Throughout the 1940s, the famous talent began experimenting with new series and concepts aimed at varied audiences and created an array of beloved characters and hilarity still fondly remembered to this day. So there you go. There's a bunch of movies, including No Mutton for Nuttin', The Hen-Picked Rooster, Suddenly It's Spring, A Lamb in a Jam, The Friendly Ghost, Bargain Counterattack, Sheep Shape. These are all from the 40s. Ooh, this might be something worth picking up because the animation of that era was great. Then we jump ahead to Death Ship, another Kino Lorber banger horror title. I like this movie.
Ooh.
I didn't love it, but Death Ship's pretty cool in 4K. Nice to get another movie like this out in 4K. And then something I don't understand. One of my favorite TV shows, I'm going to say it, of all time, For All Mankind.
Yeah.
Season 2 is coming out. Now, they finally actually are using the real logo. But what is with this release? First of all, why isn't it in 4K? And it's one of the great shows. What weird releasing this has. It's an Apple. I don't know what they're doing with this. I have no idea what's up with this. But, hey, it's coming out. Thank God.
Especially since Ted Lasso got a 4K release.
Yeah, and that from the Ted Lasso, that's interesting. I have the Ted Lasso release right here. So
yeah,
this got put out by who put
Warner,
this out?
probably.
It is. It's Warner Brothers. So Warner put this out.
I remember Ted Lasso.
Yeah, so Ted Lasso came out from Warner Brothers. I don't know what's going on with this. I would love to do the special features and do them the way we did Star Trek, the Next Generation.
Perhaps fingers crossed, Rob. Perhaps fingers crossed when we get a whole box set of For All Mankind.
Yep. So that's all the news that's fit to print.
Yep.
But now we're into the top selling discs. These are all formats, including Blu-ray and 4K.
Yeah.
Tron Ares is number 1. 1408, which you showed. Dogma, Superman, Evil Dead Rise, Dante's Peak.
Bleach. Okay.
Yeah.
Anime.
Oh, it's Bleach. That's animation. F1 the movie.
Animation. Okay.
And then Mars Attacks and Van Helsing. Yeesh. And then we've got the 4K. We've got Tron Ares, 1408, Dogma, Evil Dead Rise, Dante's Peak, Superman, F1 the movie, Alien, the Pink Panther from Kino Lorber, and of course the Phoenician Scheme. That's pretty cool. So there you go, Deets, and that is all the news that's fit to print. Book 'em, Dano.
Rob, I don't know. Could you put up the picture from Eureka again about the Karl May westerns? I just wanted to show you the contrast, with the comedy.
Yep.
It can see. Correct. And now here can you see, Rob, the shoe of Manitou? It is the equivalent, I would say, like Airplane to the airport movies,
Oh.
And this is the comedy to those ones,
Nice.
Just a little bit quick.
Again,
totally
I know
surprised
these movies, so it's fun to see that. So that's cool.
Yeah, totally surprised that they're putting those German classics out. They were big hits here. Big hits.
Yeah. So I guess that leaves the live chat for you, dude.
Okay, you can take a break now, Rob. And I say previously on Let's Get Physical Media. We start with Matt. And he goes, went to an early screening of Sent Help last night. Fucking loved it. That's awesome to hear. And HV Christodot says, no other choice. The new Park Wook movie gets 0 awards, and it's one of my new favorite films. Unfortunately, I still haven't seen it. It comes, I think it starts this weekend here. And Albin says, so sad, no other choice got snubbed. Yeah, I heard it's really awesome, as Shark always delivers. Ajay Skorenki, I'm snowed in and listening to my favorite German, Dieter Bastian. I hope I can keep you at least a little warm in those cold parts of the country. HV Christodot, I like the first Silent Hill movie, despite some flaws. Yeah, me too. So I was really hoping this third one now, since Christoph came back to direct, would, be good. But like Rob said, and many others, unfortunately, it seems to be trash, actually. BCH, hey, 30 minutes to get to Starfleet Academy. Only 30 minutes? Okay. And then we come to Roy Nasser. I love For All Mankind. We all do. Castle Grayskull, considering I showed you up the movie that I saw, one of the worst already for this year, Killer Whale. And Castle Grayskull says, but would Deeds watch whales and sharks in space? I think we already had whales in space with Ahsoka, and I know there are sky sharks, but I don't know if sharks are available for the upper atmosphere. But at least sky sharks we did get. Handelo, Clarence Maxwell says, digital cameras made it too easy to pump out crap. Yeah, everyone is a filmmaker these days. Grid Nature, Appreciate you, Dieter, for recommending movies. I always benchmark them to watch later. Thank you. I hope they are good recommendations. At least I hope so. BCH 2. Black Phone didn't need a sequel. Well, certainly not. But if you make a sequel, at least make it a good one. Not a boring one. Andy Haynes says, I enjoyed Dust Bunny. Felt like Del Toro had directed a Leon remake. And Major Scheiser says, I liked Dust Bunny too. And we talked about, of course, The Rip on Netflix. Rulat, Kanan can deliver, director Chukanan. Kanan can deliver a really nice, tight, fun movie. And Major Scheiser says, I saw Mercy, the Chris Pratt movie, on Thursday. Don't recommend it. Maybe on streaming, but don't pay for it. Huh? Okay. Back to Kanan, BCH, Smoking Aces was a lot of fun. And Peter De Palma, Kanan's A-Team was a blast. Okay. And it's great that he got a little bit back with The Rip, because I think last year he came out with Shadow Force, and this one pretty much was on a lot of worse lists, actually. Tom Julia Jackson. Has anyone here watched His and Hers? I have unfortunately not, but I heard good things. It's a series on Netflix with Punisher, with Burnett, with John Burnett, but I haven't seen it. Rob, have you seen His and Hers on Netflix?
No.
No, okay. Roy Nasser. Surprisingly enough, Ben Affleck is the best Bruce Wayne. Anyone can play Batman, but Bruce Wayne is much more complicated. Okay. Brian Knight. Would you rather see a Jason Bourne versus the Accountant or a team-up movie fighting a corrupt government agency? Why not do both? First the versus, and then the team-up together. So we get two movies. And I didn't know that, Rob, considering you recommend the new series The Beauty, which I say I will wait until more episodes will be available. And Styx Boy says Beauty is based on a comic book. Okay, didn't know that. Nice to know. BCH, I saw Afterburn, the De Bautista flick. It was okay. Yeah, it was okay. But if Saarbrücken shows up on the map, then it gets from okay, being good. Major Chai Chai, my co-workers are going on a business trip to Germany, and I was so bummed to learn that one of their stops will be Saarbrücken. Okay, I don't know what they are doing here, but you can visit the capital of the world always. I hope so. I hope they have a decent time here. You buy now. I'm having a lot of fun reading Return of the Maltese Falcon. Watching the movie first is definitely recommended. Albedal, speaking of Lionsgate, the whole bloody affair is finally getting a release in Germany, at least in cinemas in April. Yeah, finally in April we will have the chance to see the whole bloody affair in theaters. Lord Toth, Arcane Season 1 was great. Season 2 was terrible. Okay, that will get Lord Toss a strike here on my list. Unbelievable. And Grid Nature, yeah, the second season was not good. Okay, Grid Nature. Next one is a strike here. Unbelievable. HV Christadot. Oh yeah, Hard Boiled is a religious experience. It certainly is. Peter De Palma, Who Lost Your Package, where my hardboiled was in. It was an Amazon delivery, but I don't know which company did ship it or who lost it. But finally, I got my hardboiled. And last week, I forgot to put it out again. HV Christadot said, I wanted to see Wolf Children, the animated movie that I showed as a steelbook. And Sonder Atelier says, Wolf Children is excellent. That's good. That's always good to know. And he continues on. Mamura Hosoda is such a phenomenal animation director. Wolf Children, Summer Wars, The Girl Who Leaped Through Time, all great. That's good to know. Didn't know that he did all those movies. Cast Grayskull, have any of you heard from Irene, Thomas Bertoldi, and Miele? Fortunately not. Sometimes, people dip out, or perhaps Rob said something that offended them. You never know. You buy now.
I'm sure that was it, though. I said something, or my position on the Middle East.
Yeah,
turns people off.
You will get letters about that. Speaking of let me just, even if Barnes Noble perhaps doesn't have it, at least I have it here, Max, presented here. You Buy Now says, yes, got my copy. The line, the bank won't mind.
What happened to your camera?
I just wanted to show the Return of the Maltese Falcon, Rob.
Hang on. I was
reset
like, okay.
Since Barnes & Nobles doesn't have it, And Max, considering you're asking yourself, why is my book together with animated stuff? Because they are two masterpieces, Max. That's why they are together, And You Buy Now says, considering Return of the Maltese Falcon, yes, got my copy. The line, the bank won't mind, made me chuckle. That's good to hear. Rulat says, my bad take for the year is I just don't get the love for One Battle After Another. It was tough to get through me. It was tough to get through it. Yeah, but it's a little bit divisive, but I think it's always good if a movie is divisive than just mediocre. And Albital says, oh my God, One Battle, watched it at cinemas and hated the first hour. Second hour was entertaining though. Major Chaitzer says, I was at Barnes & Nobles in Manhattan Beach on Friday. They didn't have Return of the Maltese Falcon, nor did any of the nearby stores. So Max, get those books shipped out. H.V. Christodot says, again, to No Other Choice, deserved some Oscars. And Albital, considering One Battle After Another, and I hated most of the music in it, especially the fucking piano from hell. It's certainly a unique choice, considering the score for One Battle After Another. H.V. Christodot, Sinners does not deserve more Oscars than Return of the King, but it's good. Altmetall, I watched City on Fire 4K a few weeks ago. I enjoyed it. No obvious similarities to Reservoir Dogs to me, as they say. Yeah, it has, but it's not as deep as I thought they would be. Yeah, you're correct on that. The Alex Sorber, City on Fire is not my top 10 or even maybe 20 Hong Kong films, but I still love it. H.V. Christodot, City on Fire is just okay, as Max would probably say it too now after rewatching it. Albinal, I always loved the double bill of Jackie Brown and Out of Sight. We talked about those movies a little bit last week. And You Buy Now, I hated the ending of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Inglourious Bastards. Tarantino fell off for me. For me, he's still one of the best. Clarence Maxwell, I love Dieter's chuckle laugh. It would make a great ringtone, or perhaps an annoying one.
You should start
Major
selling
Chai.
that. Put it up for sale for downloadable.
Major Chai, I just drive to Davenport, Iowa, and drive around and pick up a trail of blood that leads me to the sea wing. Clever girl here. 6 Starship Alien, So Nobody 2, finally last night. Great movie. Just as good as the first. Script not from a book. Not a rerun, but geez, an original idea and well written. That's different. Okay. Real Thomas Logan. Our Thomas Logan was, of course, in the chat. The Bone Temple is too good. Seen it 3 times already. And Castle Grayskull informed me that in her location it's minus 28 degrees Celsius last week. I've never experienced such deep temperatures. And Walter Whitewalker, our 8-bit site now, says, let's get all snowed in at the sea wing. Albinal asked, has anyone the recently released 4K from 4Cult of Once Upon a Time in America? I don't have it, but you can go to Bill Hunt's digital website, the Digital Bits. There is a review of the Italian version of Once Upon a Time in America. You can find a review of that disc on the Digital Bits.
Yes.
Considering I showed last week Primitive War, the Blu-ray, BCH, Primitive War was better than the last Jurassic World. And he thinks about it, actually, it's better than all of the Jurassic World movies. Film Maniac, leaving to view influencer movies on my 100 screen. I usually avoid internet-themed movies, but I'm taking a chance solely on this recommendation. Report back to me, considering influencer. Final Slash says, I watched Night Patrol, the movie with Justin Long that came out. With Justin Long last night in theaters and was pleasantly surprised. It looked like Sinners. Then definitely, if you liked Sinners, then definitely check it out. Okay, I heard more mixed things actually about the movie. Last week I showed Bone Lake, which I totally had a great time with it. Filmmaniac, Bone Lake on Prime, I think. Like a Lifetime movie until the last 20 minutes. Yeah, the last 20 minutes gets there. But there's a scene in the beginning where I thought, okay, I've never seen that either. Thomas Logan, that nitwit Campia Ford Marty Supreme was a bad movie. And BCH says, Campia not liking it means I should check it out. 666 Starship Alien. Does anyone know where I can stream, buy, or watch the Streets of Fire movie with Michael Paré and Diane Lane? I remember watching it as a teen, but can't find it now. But there's a nice 4K out. Rob, help me, from which company?
Shout.
Is it Kino Lorber or is it
Shout?
Okay. There's a nice 4K out, and as we know, 4Ks are region free. And Alpenthal says, I just recently watched the 4K of Streets of Fire from Shout. Great quality watch. And Starship Alien continues. I'd rather have a code-free. Thanks. I'd rather have code-free. Alien Romulus was not released on DVD in Australia. No shops had it here, so I went to eBay and got the code-free version. Considering Disney titles, they're mostly distributed worldwide, and they're mostly ABC. They're usually code-free, the Disney title. And we had a little bit of a discussion. Dante's Peak or Volcano. Clarence Maxwell. Dante's Peak actually has a volcano in it. And Carlo SP, Volcano is awesome. And Starship Alien, Dante's Peak is an epic disaster movie. Considering Dust Bunny and the aspect ratio, Walter Whitewalker, I appreciate the aspect ratio for Dust Bunny, but with my horrible vision, it was a little harder to see. Love the set design and look of the film though, and Metz and Sigourney Weaver were great. And Major Chai Chai continues, or Walter Whitewalker, the apartment, the dumpling restaurant were awesome, and I loved the chicken lamp. Yeah, the chicken lamp was really great. The Brujo, G.I. Jane, which I showed last week from Imbrit, with the nice sucking notion, considering the addition. The Brujo, G.I. Jane and the phrase sucking motion were awfully close together, Mr. Dietz. Not a complaint, just an observation. It can happen here. Or let's get physical media. Patrick Williams, them Imbrit titles are expensive. Yeah, they are not really the cheapest one. Thomas Logan, The Last Seduction is a fucking masterpiece. Derek Sorber, considering our show, some people taking a nap here and there, Rob. Grace, that's normal. Not that I get bored, but I take a nap watching the show every other week. And nothing speaks against a good nap. 8-bit side, or I rather say Walter Whitewalker. Wait, Rob's already seen For All Mankind Season 5? Yeah, that's when you get access, media access.
I'm the shill media, buddy.
But yes. Then you can watch it a little bit.
Now, I should say, to be fair, I've only seen 8 of the 10 episodes because they didn't drop.
Yeah.
You know, they always do that.
Is there a reason why it always the last 2 episodes are
they don't want you to know the end. They don't want the end to get out because the ends of For All Mankind seasons are always really good. And this one is going to be particularly interesting.
Okay. Can't wait to see. Ubino, I heard great things about Shadow's Edge, the Jackie Chan movie I showed. Definitely gonna get. Yeah, you can totally get it. Patrick Williams, Rob showed it in the news section last week. Depths, a must buy. Yeah, certainly. HV Christodot, oh, I finally saw Ninja 3, The Domination. Good times, certainly. HV Christodot, I saw an Asian movie called Sleep, was pretty good. If you're talking about the Korean movie, yeah, Sleep, just called Sleep, really nice one. Really nice one. With nice surprises, nice twists and turns. Clarence Maxwell, look how stupid our society is now. Maybe Starfleet Academy and Alien Earth are accurate portrayals of the future. Who knows? Perhaps he is onto something here, Rob. Danzig, considering we talked a little bit about Kung Fu Fury, the movie that should be made. Danzig, 1979. They filmed Kung Fury, the movie. They released the sizzle reel last year. It's been stuck in legal trouble, so has no release. A sizzle reel may be out there on YouTube. And Thomas Logan says, Fassbender and Arnold weren't just rumored. They actually shot the movie. It's just stuck in hell because of rights issues. And we all know that too well. This was the last one from the live chat reload. Legal troubles, Rob. Legal troubles.
Wow, we've only done a 2.5-hour show. That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I mean, this was a good show. In and out.
Yeah.
Not quite the 71 minutes, but we still did a good show.
Yeah. Do we have some super chats left?
Yeah, we do have. We have a few more. A few more to get to. First of all, Castle Grayskull gave a Burnettwork membership. That was very nice of her. Louis Feliciano says, I know the movie's a disaster, but I would love to see Cool World on 4K. You know what? I took a date to that movie. A girl named Jennifer Hundley I met when I was working on Free Willy. She was incredible. And I don't know whatever happened to her. But I hated Cool World, and I was embarrassed I took her to see it. And I was looking so forward to seeing that movie. It is definitely not great. Castle Grayskull goes on to say, Konbini is the video store you were looking for. Konbini. I don't know what that is.
I think a store in Paris, she says.
Oh, that is that the one where Rob Galuzzo went? Rob G went. So, yeah. Yeah, okay. That's good. So there we are caught up, sir.
There we caught up, and I think then we can bring it, luckily, to an end, and that we even could do our show, since Rob has some way figured it out with his Wirecast. So, on my end.
This my Wirecast is now a subscription service that I have to pay monthly for. You know, it gets, because, you know, there's nothing you can do. I bought this software years ago. I thought, but, you know, and I went to use it. So it locked in, and it knew it would not let me use the software that I bought. I had to go re-up. And why re-up February? Because it's the shortest month. So if you're going to buy it monthly, and you don't even get 31 days, it's February 1st. And I was already online, so that's probably why they changed it over. Now it's subscription only. And the problem is, it's $99 a month, or you can re-up for $500 a year. And that means, of course, I this is the third time that I'll be paying for this, but I think, you know, I didn't have $500 to drop, so I had to pay $99. So I have to make that up, you know, before. It sucks. It sucks because this Wirecast was expensive to buy in the first place.
Especially when you bought the software, you think you can use it. You bought it, Rob. Like the physical media, we bought it. You own the movie. You know, not own the movie, but
it's frustrating. Our entire civilization is being reduced to the fact that we're just indentured serfs. You know, we're going to pay for everything. You're not going to own anything anymore, and it's really frustrating. Especially when it comes to, I mean, I liked it when I would get my discs and I could put them in my computer and I owned the software. I owned the games I bought.
Yeah. That's why I always, Rob, when I showed, when considering gaming consoles, I always say to people, buy a console with a disc drive. Not because, yes, you can play Blu-rays and 4Ks, just because you can get disc variations cheaper sometimes, you know.
Yep.
If you just can purchase games from the digital store, you have to go with the price they're setting up. Yes, there are some Schnäppchens here and there too, but considering the disc versions, you can always make better Schnäppchens there. So the more money that you invest having a disc drive in it, at some point you have you have gotten the money back through saving money
Yeah.
when you're buying
100%.
the disc versions.
Well, on
So,
that
Rob,
note,
on my end, jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen, die du noch zu hören hast. Alles, was du tun musst, ist zuhören.
every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear, and all you have to do is listen. And with that, yeah, True Noir, The Assassination of Anton Cermak is going to be everywhere February 17th. You can pre-order the CD set now if you want it, or you can pre-order the audio drama, but it's going to be everywhere. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully it'll be successful enough that we can pull the trigger on season 2.
Yeah.
That would be great, because the next book in the series is really, really good. True crime. And, yeah, so there we go. We'll see what happens. And now I can get to work in earnest quickly, hopefully, to make the soundtrack album, the perks for the Kickstarter, the book, the script book, and the Blu-ray, which I'm really excited to do. So anyway, that's it. That's all the news that's fit to print. I will be doing a Robservations tonight, and we'll see where it goes. And this week, hopefully, I'll be starting working on a new project in earnest. That's been stopping and starting as well. So we'll see. We'll see where we're at. But we'll be back next week to talk about more discs and see what movies are coming out, what movies we've seen. I will have seen The Strangers Part 3, Chapter 3.
Looking forward to hearing you review. But have you seen the second one, Rob?
No. No, I have not. But Alvaro's making
is there no better double feature option, Rob, next week?
No, and I would like to see The Moment, which is the Charlie XCX.
Oh yeah, I heard
movie.
about it. Yeah.
I want to see that. By the way, Charlie XCX endeared herself to me forever because she was in the Criterion Closet, and she said she was a big fan of David Cronenberg. And I love that. She watched The Shrouds. I got to pick that up. I don't have The Shrouds. I missed the last Criterion sale, so I don't know when the next one's going to happen. But we'll see. March maybe, save things up. But yeah. On that note,
but at least, Rob, I think Strangers and the other movie, The Whisper or Whisper,
the whistling.
Whisper.
Whistling. I don't.
Oh, the whistling.
Know.
Okay.
This is.
I would just assume against the double feature that you did today, both movies probably only 90 minutes long. You know.
Yeah.
Against the 2 hours and the long iron lung.
It was long.
Okay. Yeah. I heard that, Rob.
Yeah.
Cody was not a fan either of it.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta watch his review, man.
Cody
Jeremy Johns kind of liked it, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. So, hey.
I think
movies, it's not for me.
Yeah, it's probably Five Nights at Freddy's even more to the max that you have to know the movie, the game. Didn't know it, but it made money. Well, it made money definitely.
Yep,
there was an audience there. Okay,
all right, everyone. Thanks for being here, and as always, we'll see you
next week.
Next week.
No.
All right. We are over. All right.
Okay.
So
nicely done, Rob.